Welcome. I'm Angelo Firenze, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of the Belmont Business Journal, Belmont Business Report. Today we have Lord Bates, the founder and president of Beechwood Mortgage, located at 130 Trapella Road in Cushing Square. He's going to be with us today to tell us a little bit about his business. Lord, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Great to have you. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
I'm resident of Belmont for the last 30 years. Graduated Belmont High when I was year 85, not too long ago. But I have two young kids, Drew 6 and Lottie's 3. Wife Sherry ended up buying the house that we grew up in for 20 years, 10 years ago.
That sounds familiar. I think I did the same thing. So.
Yeah? Yeah, I don't think we're far from each other. So I got into, my background is finance and accounting initially. I did that for about 15 years until I decided to venture off into the mortgage business, which I've been doing for the past 8 years.
Okay. What is the mortgage business?
Oh, that's a hot topic nowadays. What is what?
Subprime mortgages and all of the things that we hear about in the news all the time. What is
right? So and that's the problem with the industry itself is that people prey on the lack of knowledge because there is so much involved in it, and it's easy for people to or for corporations, for individuals to take advantage of situations because of others' lack of knowledge. So, there are brokers, there are mortgage brokers, there are lenders, and the difference is a mortgage broker has connections. I have connections with about 25 national lenders, as well as a lot of other specialty banks. So as a broker, I'm able to take somebody's situation, which nobody is the same when it comes down to credit or any situation, and place them with the lender that best fits their needs instead of just being, stuck with one. So I can manage that with them. A lender is somebody that actually lends their money or closes a loan in their name. I don't do that.
That would be somebody like if I was to go out to a typical bank and say,
Yep.
okay, I'm applying for a mortgage from the ABC Bank, and that would be a lender type of
Correct.
relationship.
You would actually close the loan in their name. You wouldn't close the name in Beechwood's name. It wouldn't be in my name. I'm the broker.
Right.
So, and we are basically the sales force for all these banks. And it's a cheaper or less expensive way for that channel of business because they don't have to put up brick and mortar places everywhere to service all these people and all the business.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If I elect to use a mortgage broker in getting a mortgage, I don't pay the fee. The sales commission, if
Correct.
you will, is paid for by the lending organization. So
Yes.
Once I go out and apply for a mortgage and get acceptance of a mortgage, whatever the interest rate is, whatever the points, if there are points, so forth, whatever the terms of the mortgages are, those would be competitive in and of themselves, and if there's any compensation that's given to you as a result of the services you provide,
Correct.
those are paid for by the bank and not paid for by the individual lender, but the individual borrower.
Correct.
Is that correct? Yeah.
It is correct. It could also go two ways because that makes it sound as if we get paid by the lender, but to be competitive, the rates have to be market rates. We could do one of two things. I could, let's say, at 6%, close a 30-year fixed for you with a bank, a lender, or that would, let's say, and they would pay me a percentage, 1%. And that's a margin, that's a fair margin, 1% of the loan amount. It's usually, and it's of the loan amount. Or if you chose to have a lower rate, you could pay the commission yourself, and you would get, let's say, 5.75 Okay? So with all this no closing costs, no cost loan, there's a cost to everything. Okay?
All right.
So there's always...
And that's something that we could sit down and talk about what my options would be as a potential borrower to say, look, this is a house that I'm buying. I plan on keeping it for 30 years. I'm not going to be flipping it 1 or 2 years, and so therefore I'm more concerned about the long-term cost savings, and I would rather pay the commission myself than take the lower interest rate. And this is something that we would have as we went through the process together, working together to evolve the final deal that we end up with. Is that the way it would work?
That would work. The way I operate is, Beechwood's goal, my mission, is to educate my clients the best they can to make an informed decision. This industry has a really black eye, and I work off of referral clients, referral business, and that's all the clients that I've worked with sending business back to me because of the service I provided. So in doing that, I have to provide a good service.
I guess one of my questions, and you might think about this as we talk about this, is what would make my relationship with Beechwood or with Lot Bates as an individual different than it would be from other mortgage brokers that might be around, or from the mortgage brokers that are soliciting my business through direct mail or through advertising or internet or some of the other forms of communication that some brokers use to try and bring people into the fold, if you will.
Right. So I would say the difference is myself and my staff. I'm here to educate. I don't do direct mail. I don't do cold calling. Okay? I, take clients that, like yourself, that are looking for something, a purchase, and I'll give examples as to you could do X, Y, and Z, and if your time frame is 3 years, I can show you 3 years. This is going to be the total cost, and just instead of trying to just sell you a mortgage, a lot of people are just trying to sell you a mortgage, and it's a numbers game, and it's not a numbers game for me. I'm trying to build relationships with people that are going to continue forever. So I'm a resource to people. We also, I've done a lot of work with credit. Credit's huge nowadays, and it's a large percentage of the approval process. And unfortunately, there are errors or marks on credit reports that might bring a score down. We've been able to increase individual scores by as much as 200 points.
This is this credit score, what's your credit score thing that you're talking about? This is so if I apply for a mortgage, they're going to go in, they're going to look at my credit history, they're going to generate a credit score based on my credit history.
Yes.
And whatever that score happens to be is going to be a major factor in determining what my mortgage rate or what my interest rate would be.
Absolutely.
It is, and if I might just jump ahead here, just so that I understand it, and maybe it help explain it to the viewers as well. When we talk about the subprime mortgages, what's essentially happening is these are mortgages that are being lent to people that have poor credit ratings.
Correct.
And as a result of that, they're not in a situation where they get fixed interest rates, they get variable interest rates. They took the mortgage out at times when interest rates were a lot lower, and now that interest rates are higher, the mortgage companies are coming back, adjusting those numbers by 1 or 2% or even more, and all of a sudden the payment to make that mortgage is astronomical compared to what they thought it was going to be, and they find themselves in trouble and forced to defaulting on the loan. Is that
That's accurate. And what happened is a lot of these people were solicited by cold calls and mailers, and they were targeted individuals that, because you can get information on people, and their mailings are targeted to a group of people. So yes, there were promises made by individuals. It's not just brokers, and unfortunately, brokers being not a unified bunch, are getting the bad rap on it. It's everybody from bad brokers to bad lenders to Wall Street, actually, that are lending that money on terms. They would be approached, and promises of refinancing 2 years from now, where they would be put in what's called a 228, 2-year fixed mortgage at a very low rate. Don't worry, we'll refinance you in 2 years, back down. Unfortunately, what happened was default rates started going up. The people, or the lenders, the investors that were giving the money to these these lenders to lend at these rates with these low FICOs and high.
What's a FICO?
FICO score, I'm sorry. Credit score.
Okay.
Low credit scores or poor credit. That started drying up. They started disappearing. So now, not only can't they refinance because the products aren't there, the loans aren't there because those investors have gone away, now their values have come down.
Okay.
So they can't, their payments are going up 60%, and their values are below what they paid for them. So that's basically what happened.
In what you're talking about, I just got a flash. We've got a few minutes left here. It's the time really flies. It flies when we're doing this stuff. But essentially, the key to what you're doing is to educate your customers on what they're getting involved in the mortgage. You had mentioned the possibility of doing some seminars, credit seminars, working with parents and children, and how important it is to maintain credit and understand what the impact of that is, so they avoid these kinds of problems. Is this something you're going to be thinking about doing in the near future?
Yeah, definitely. We have some planned in the next couple of months. I think it's critical because I've worked with a lot of people coming out of college, and they didn't know about credit scores and the impact, and they think when they get out of college they get a clean slate. Not the case. And credit scores are so much more important now than they were when you and I got out of school, that it's important to learn early before you make these decisions, because it's hard to turn it around. So yes, I'm going to host some seminars at my place in 130 Tupelo Road, and for Belmont residents and anybody else that would like to come and educate on credit and what's going on in the market now and how it affects them, because there are a lot of changes that are happening now in Congress that are...
there are a couple of things I'm aware of that we've had a chance to talk about privately or previously off-screen, but I think they're worth noting. I think your commitment to Belmont is very, very clear. You own the building that you're located in up in Cushing Square. You certainly have the facilities to do this kind of seminars, and I think that's it's a welcome asset and a real benefit to the town, and I'm sure that you'll be doing that with the seniors in town as well as the youth as well. So so I think your commitment to Belmont as a place to do business is something that certainly, as a selectman of Belmont, I appreciate and I enjoy hearing, and I'm sure the residents in Belmont here as well. Is there anything else that you'd like the viewers to know about your business at this point? If you not only need information, don't wait until you need a mortgage. If you have any questions relating to real estate market, mortgages, credit, call me up anytime. Walk in, I'm right up in Cushing Square, right next to Starbucks. Walk up, I'd be more than happy to talk about it, educate you as much as I can, so when the time comes that you need to do something, you'll be ready. Okay. Real quick, this is primarily for residential mortgages. Do you do commercial mortgages as well?
We do small commercial. We do offer small commercial mortgages also.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. What define small?
Say it again?
Define small.
Probably 100,000 to 5 million.
Oh, okay.
Well, small for some people.
small for some people.
Small for commercial.
Yeah. Do you want to leave the viewers with some contact information?
Yeah, we can be reached at 617-484-7955, or we can be reached get on the internet at beechwoodmortgage.com, and that's BEECHWOOD mortgage, MORTGAGE, beechwoodmortgage.com.
And the phone number up there?
617-484-7955.
Well, thank you, Lott. I
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate your joining us this morning or today on the show, and I'm sure the viewers are going to appreciate learning a little bit more about the mortgage business. And I want
I hope to
again welcome
meet
you.
'em.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
very much.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us on today's edition of the Belmont Business Report, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Hi, I'm Andrew Feldman,
I'm Tom Eunice.
And I'm Ilya Fishman.
and we are the co-hosts of Currently Speaking, a weekly discussion program about current events here at the Belmont Media Center.
We are also its producers. We started when we were just seniors in high school.
And you can start too, at any point you want, to deliver your message to the people.
Belmont Media Center teaches you how to use the equipment and make it work so you can talk about what you care about.
It is a great opportunity to have your voice heard. It is your First Amendment right.
Stop watching TV and start making it.